right, good morning guys. So I've kind of ran out of storage and I'm trying to figure out some storage with the GoPro, so bear with me. It's going to be on the camera on my phone, so the video is kind of going to be, that narrow ordeal. So I switched it up. I decided to bring it inside today, kind of like how the first chapter of this we're going to talk about this week, I think it was chapter 3 and 4 that we did. We finished the book, Forest Bathing, so congratulations you guys, we got to finish it. I'm so excited about it. Ready to hear your guys' thoughts and how you liked them and all that. So like I've been doing, I'll just go over real quick kind of some of the little bits and pieces about what he talked about and how I kind of do that in my daily life and how I'm planning on incorporating that in my daily life and maybe how you can too. So chapter 3, he started off talking about bringing the forest inside. So you can kind of see I got my indoor plants kind of sitting here with me. Since this whole quarantine stuff been going on, got started, I started buying plants here, there, and everywhere. So we have quite a few. I just got 3 different ones here. I've got our aloe plant. I've got my succulents that are in the bathroom. And then we've got a cactus that some guy had grown wild at his house. And we were just like, so we just went and picked it up. And it's kind of growing there. And he's talked about bringing the plants inside because they act as a natural air purifier, and they absorb all the toxins that are in the air. And one of the things he talked about that I'm really passionate about is how he talked about they can absorb the toxins out of our chemical products, so like our household cleaners and stuff that we mop with, and all of that, and it can actually absorb the toxins from that. And Trey and I, a while back ago, over a year ago, we decided to do this, what they call the ditch and switch. So we ditched all of our toxic chemical products and started going with non-toxic ones, and I love it. It's amazing. So he also talked about how they release humidity, make the humidity in the air go up, so then you're less likely to get sick and things of that. He also talked about oils, which I am really, really passionate about as well. I have my own essential oil business with Young Living, and I use them for everything. I have a diffuser in just about every single room. I had a diffuser outside. We had a birthday party here a couple days ago, a week ago, some time ago, and I had the diffuser outside, so it was awesome, and it was going up on the porch and everything. He also talked about having pictures of nature throughout the house. That way it can kind of help bring it in, so it gives you that sight he had talked about before. Your senses, and when you go out in nature, to allow all your senses to open up and absorb the forest and nature through all 5. And he actually even threw in an extra one, another scent. So having pictures, which I take pictures all the time, so that's another little thing that I'm passionate about. We have our nature pictures that I sell up on the website, so they're wherever we take an adventure to. I usually take my camera and I snapping pictures left and right. We've been hanging them up throughout the house, so we've only got just a few hanging up right now, but we are going to be having a lot more with how we're redoing everything. He also talked about candles. Candles kind of goes with the oils. It's just whenever you burn a candle, you're releasing the smoke into the air, which if you have plants, it kind of he had mentioned can absorb it a little bit. And then he also talked about having the sounds. One thing that I really, really, really love to do, and I don't have it going on right now because I didn't want it to be a distraction in the background, is I put on YouTube first thing in the morning. when I get up, my little routine for the summer is a little bit different. I get up and I do housework before I come on here and talk to you guys. So I put on nature sounds on the TV. I get YouTube brought up and boom, left and right, here and there, and get me motivated and ready to go. And then he also talked about how you can also bring all of what he had talked about in that chapter into your office. For me right now, my office is home, so I take my office outside, take my lunch break outside, maybe go to the park, do something different all the time, but I always try to get out there. If it's raining, I'll open up the windows and let the sound of the rain be amazing and fill the house. At work, though, when I'm at school, I don't really sit at my desk a whole lot. There's just maybe once a day, like during the day, every day, I'll just sit at it for like 20 minutes to do paperwork. So there's not a whole lot of time for me just being in my little boxed office kind of. But there is once a month that when I'm doing inventory, I'm in there for a lot longer. So I'll kind of put on some nature sounds and get them going in the background while I'm sitting there doing that. And then chapter 4, he was talking about the future and talked about how different cities and nations are starting to do more studies and talk about and incorporate nature and mental health and all that and doing everything. And I just thought that was really amazing. He had a list on there of, he talked about big cities, how they are becoming more green, so they're planting more trees and having a little bit more parks and all that. And he had used a website. I forget the name of the website. I should have wrote it down, but I didn't. I was driving. I was listening to my Audible. And yeah, so that's basically all of the book, Forest Bathing. So I get out, I go camping. I think we're planning a camping trip sometime this summer. I've got like 10 of them planned, but then I have to like make sure that they were good with everybody else. And I just smacked that cactus and then grabbed a hold of it. Yeah, good thing it's not pointy. So yeah, I've been out in the garden today. I've been outside. I've got plants. I've done some oils. So I've just kind of been having it go everywhere, and I'm really like, woo! So yeah, I'm trying to get back to where I was going with what I was talking about. I've lost myself. But yeah, we do all kinds of camping trips. We go hiking. Like last night we did like a little drive down back roads. We roll the windows down. I'm poking the aloe plant now. So we'll roll the windows down, let the sound in, the air, and just cruise around and kind of absorb it that way. We also do, you know, like I mentioned, hiking. We take hikes all the time. I know some of my friends like we'll get together and we'll go hike to do for exercise. We'll go up to the state park up the road and hike some of the trails and get nature in that way. I've been trying to do a lot more barefoot walking when I'm outside in the garden. I'm just scared to death I'm gonna step on a bee. I haven't stepped on a bee since I was little. And it hurt. Last time, I remember it hurt last time I stepped on a bee. But I'm trying to just go with the flow with it and just take my socks and shoes off and get out there and do that. And my oven is going off for my biscuits. So yeah, but you know, like I said, we do the YouTube sounds up on nature. We diffuse oils at night. We diffuse them during the day. We've got all of our plants going on. So my question for you is, how do you incorporate all of what he had talked about throughout this book? How do you incorporate that in your life? And if you haven't, how are you going to start to incorporate it into your life give me some of your thoughts on this book. Did you like it? Did you not? Are you still skeptical? Was you skeptical at first and now you're not? Like, just kind of how are you gonna, like, just kind of explain to me, like, your thoughts on it. And how do you individually plan to help the future understand some of the things that he had talked about throughout this book? So that was another question I wanted to ask you all. But we're just over 10 minutes, trying to keep it short again. So next book we'll get started with this one. It's a new one. We'll start talking about it, next Monday in the morning. It's called The Energy Bus. It's on Audible as well. It's 1 credit. So I'll put, some links in the description and all that for the Energy Bus and Audible and my website, so you can go look at some pictures if you want. I'll put my essential oils group down there so you can come join and learn about toxic-free products and essential oils and things of that. But next week we're going to start with the Energy Bus. We'll read the introduction in chapters 1 through 19. I know that sounds like a lot of chapters to read, but some chapters are only like a minute long. If you're listening to it on Audible, it might be maybe a couple minutes if you're actually reading it. So on Audible, it's like an hour and a half worth of reading that's read to you. So it might be a little bit longer if you're reading it as a paper book. So that's it for this time. Sorry it was on my phone. I'm sorry I'm kind of like woohoo this morning. But I'll see you guys later. I want y'all to stay natural, get out in nature, and I'll see you in the morning.